you don't have to teach people how to treat you. People who love you will do their best to consider your feelings and to make things right when they have done you wrong. And that's what I would tell my younger self, because I've stayed in situations for longer than I needed to, just being like understanding of where the person comes from and, you know, understanding why they did what they did, but being like, hey, look, you just can't treat people this way. But I think life is easier when you walk away and you just let the right people come into your life, because who needs all that resistance? There's enough resistance in the world. There's enough resistance already, you know. Anyway, I have my little deck of love letters. I'm going to pick some random ones. Who knows how many there are in here. But I'm going to say 5, because I like the number 5. I don't think anything's random. The first one is stay calm through the process. Second one is you've done this before. I always try to remember, you know, I'm learning a lot, like anatomy and stuff, so I just try to remember, I'm like, you know all this already. You're just in the process of remembering. You are in the process of remembering. That's it. That's what A Course in Miracles talks about. This card came out yesterday. What's your cadence? What is your circadian rhythm like? What is your daily rhythm like? Do you move in chaos or do you move in peace? You know, there's a lot of cards in this deck for that to come out. It came out last night too. Nature, aka natural law. What this reminds me of is the amino and fatty acids. Like, we just can't escape from the natural law. Like, you can deviate, like we were talking about in one of my classes today. We were talking about pH. The system can deviate for quite a while. Our bodies are really, really resilient, really, really incredible. The immune system takes them as it comes. But the system is going to buckle at a certain point in time. And the system, I'm talking about the body. And we need amino and fatty acids. So, like I always say, if you're going through a stressful time, we have the essential category. We call them essential because we need them. We must eat them through our diet. If you don't know what essential amino acids are, really quickly, our body's made of amino acids. Food's made of amino acids. If you eat something like an egg has a full profile of the essential amino acids in a quantity that is, you know, satiating to the body. When we're eating plant proteins, so an egg would be an animal-based protein. If we're eating plant proteins, which, you know, no hate, we love plants. We love plants, you know, like I always talk about animal-based proteins, so that's why I have to say that, because I'm biased. But they offer other things too. We can get different amino acids, non-essential and conditional. We call them non-essential because we can make these in a pretty decent quantity, provided that we have the essential list. So we are some synthesizers. Synthesize in the body means to build. We can build things. This is what happens when you build muscle. You're building the capacity to hold amino acids on your body as storage, as powerhouses, as glucose regulators, as oxygen regulators, whole shebang, immune system buffer. And yeah, conditional. So something that's cool, I don't know everything. I'm in the process of learning. It's a lot to learn. It's very overwhelming. Phenylalanine, I know, can break down into tyrosine, and tyrosine breaks down into dopamine. So that's really cool, right? Really, really cool, because dopamine is our reward centers, and we, you know, have a lot of dopamine diseases. I talked about being in a catabolic apocalypse. Dopamine diseases are part of this. We are being stimulated like no other time period And that's all right, but it just needs to be in balance. Tryptophan, also the reason I ended up on this pathway, I was taking an SSRI. A lot of you guys probably anti-anxiety medications years ago. And then I was like, where is this serotonin coming from? Why are some people feeling fine and then others are feeling not fine? And where does this come from? So I did my little search. My first Google search changed my life. Not my first, but when I was outside of my psychiatrist's office, I was like, serotonin biochemistry. And then it came up with the amino acids and tryptophan, and I was like, I went into the office, I was like, does serotonin come from food? And she was like, yes. But sometimes people are just chemically imbalanced. And you know what? My gut said, no. No, 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 no. Go dig deeper. Dig deeper. Always, always dig deeper. And that's what I'm talking about, going back to teaching people how to treat you. No, there's deeper connections out there where you will feel fulfilled and full. Like, don't accept this resistance. It's not your nature. It's not your natural law. You know, there is resistance within nature, but man, you can do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Last card is alignment. I'm going to go back to this because, you know, when we don't have enough of what we need, my goal is to simplify things, by the way, and then this is all for entertainment, so please do your own research and go to your doctors and don't trust anyone and trust your professionals and whatever. When we don't have enough of what we need, we go into a very catabolic state because, well, catabolic, you can think, we have these two sides of the metabolism. Let me make sure I explain these two. We have these two major sides of the metabolism. Catabolic state is breaking down. You could think breaking down the muscle. You could think of cortisol, catabolic, or you could think cats break things. Anabolic metabolism is the building side of our metabolism. You could think testosterone, right? Steroid hormones, right? Build. I'm going to build. And so these two are like yin and yang, as you see that I've drawn the yin and yang symbol here. And then these two also are like night and day, because at night we are in the repair and restore phase of night, right? A lot of us aren't getting into that phase. We're missing out on these deep delta wave states. We're missing out on this melatonin. Again, where does melatonin come from? Tryptophan. Melatonin comes from tryptophan. Tryptophan breaks down into serotonin and then into melatonin. Gorgeous, beautiful. And this process is cued by our light cycles. So it's important to get rest, because we're not getting rest. We're in a hyper breakdown state. We break down muscle, gain fat, right? Why we have that midsection weight gain, you know? Do you feel me? You feel me on this rhythm, night and day. Break down, build. Fight, flight, rest, and digest, right? That's what we're talking about with these systems. And we're trying to find alignment. We're trying to find the balance, the middle. Melatonin. So if you can get enough of those essential amino acids, which they are essential, they are necessary. If you can get enough tryptophan too, breaks down into serotonin, breaks down into melatonin. Melatonin is one of our key drivers of this balance and of this immune function. The whole point is to boost the immune function, because when we boost the immune function, we boost our healing, our sleep state. We need the sleep state. We know, like, one of the fastest ways to age is to literally not sleep. Again, going back to hypercatabolism, a breaking down of the tissues. Every disease state is a breaking down of the tissues. Every disease state, secondary cause, nutrient depletion. So if you're going through a stressful time, if you've been gaining weight, you just are like, what? I'm gonna eat less and I'm gonna work out more. Listen to your body. Are you tired? Eat. We need food. We need good quality, good source food. So delta wave, melatonin is related to the delta wave state. Slowest respiratory rate. Slow and steady. You're thinking about a fish on ice. You put that fish on ice, it doesn't die, but what happens to the fish? It gets chilly and it slows down. It stops flapping, right? It slows down. If you put things in the fridge, they don't get old as fast. It slows down. So at night, the respiratory rate slows down, our body temperature slows down, our heart rate slows down. And in this stillness does all the beauty occur. All these cells backflipping, cerebral spinal fluid clearing out the brain, restoring the memory, restoring everything, cuts, heals, like bruises, bones that break, everything. There is so much that happens in this process of slowing down. And that's also the power of meditation, is that we slow down the respiratory rate. We a lot of times can get in that theta wave state. All these brainwave states are controlled by the respiratory rate. And Earth has a Hertz frequency coming off of it of 7.83 Hertz. So if you see Earth is having a frequency, you can look this up. Our brains, we have a frequency as well. And when we get in line with the Earth's frequency, when we're able to drop down into these slower, more restorative phases, we go back to our roots. We touch the midline, if you will. That's why I always think, touch the line, touch the midline. So I pulled that card, what's your cadence, yesterday. So it feels to be important, but what is your rhythm? What is your daily rhythm? And how are you preparing for sleep and rest at night? Because you deserve it. You deserve to feel good and rested and more in tune with your body. It's such a beautiful time to get in tune with the body. I'm such a fan of this healing process, and I'm in the process of trying to learn more about this process all the time. I'm really fascinated with Alzheimer's dementia. We forget who we are. Alzheimer's dementia is diabetes type 3, insulin resistance of the brain. Fascinating. We lose our minds, but our bodies remain here. We forget who we are. That's why I like this book, A Course in Miracles, because it is talking about, I think it was written low-key about dementia, Alzheimer's, but it talks about how we forget who we are. You may wonder why it is so crucial that you look upon your hatred and realize its full extent. For this memory would instantly restore you to your proper place, and it is this place that you have sought to leave. I wish you the best of luck. The first card that we had pulled was stay calm through the process. Stay calm. Dig your roots down every morning. Go watch the squirrels. Go see the shade of light of the sun, because you've done this before. You are just remembering. I really like these cards. Stay calm through the process. You've done this before. What's your cadence? Nature, aka natural law, and alignment. It's so beautiful. Oh, last thing. So I gotta go to sleep. I gotta get my rest. That autonomic nervous system, melatonin is regulating the autonomic nervous system. So it's regulating our cerebellum. Cerebellum, powerhouse, right? Powerhouse of the brain. If mitochondria, powerhouse of the cell. Mitochondria is powerhouse of the cell. Cerebellum, powerhouse of the brain. Really, really raking that money in for the brain, the cerebellum. I can't explain it, but it's also, I could explain it another time. The cerebellum is controlling and, helping to regulate this autonomic nervous system, automatic processes, breathing rate, heart rate, digestion. It's regulating this. So dementia, Alzheimer's, that memory center of the brain, really tight connection with the cerebellum, right? Are you seeing what I'm getting at? Are you sticking with me? Sometimes I can't even stick with myself because I feel like there are thoughts all over the place. But anyway, I'm just going to keep trying. That's all we can do, is just keep trying. But like, they call it a nervous system, and it's kind of, reframe that for you. Your system is not a nervous system, it's a calm system. It is so calm. The whole reason we call it a nervous system is because our beautiful, intelligent bodies is always picking up on cues from the environment. Am I safe? Am I safe? Am I safe? Am I free to be myself? Am I okay to feel this love around me? And so we receive that feedback, and the environment, oftentimes it makes us tense, right? Like, say you have like a messy room, or things smell weird, or you tense up. Moldy milk, right? But could be things in the environment. This could also be relationships that you have with people. But a lot of people make you tense up, Our bodies are so intelligent. So nervous is not an accurate word, right? I have a calm system that is incredibly intelligent. It picks up on everything in the environment. Something that's really cool too, it's like something to notice. Like, if you just start watching elderly people, I love elderly people. I just want to protect them and help them, because I know one day myself I will be old, and I would want someone young and strong to help me when I needed that help, and I would want someone young and strong to also have patience with me. So I really like old people. I just notice with old people, their proprioception, which is largely a part of the cerebellum function. Proprioception is how you view yourself in space. So if you stand up and if you stand up and you close your eyes and you stand on one leg and you feel this sway, proprioception is how you maintain balance in your environment and what is around you. So, like, there are people can come and stand behind you, right? And sometimes you're just like, you can feel someone standing behind you, right? But elderly people don't feel that as much, because our senses, as we get older, our senses kind of tend to wane down. Now, we can always work to put muscle in the body, to work with the cerebellum, to maintain the vibrancy and the energy of the system, right? Muscle mass is our greatest protector in longevity. Anyway, this is starting to get pretty long, so I'm gonna go, but I've really had so much fun here. I can't tell you, I love this stuff. And I'm thankful to be able to share what I love with whoever may be watching this. It definitely has been a work in progress to get comfortable in speaking to a phone, and it's definitely getting easier over time. I'm just remember stay calm through the process. So I love you so much. I wish you the sweetest dreams. Pay attention to your dreams. They're not random. Nothing is. And I will catch you next time. Good luck.